We have all felt that sudden drop in physical energy. Your heart races, hands turn clammy, and your legs begin to tremble beneath you. In the ancient world, knocking knees and feeble arms were common idioms used to describe physical and spiritual exhaustion. Today, we might use different words, but the depletion is identical. Social isolation, daily anxieties, and the friction of living out your faith in a hostile culture drain our stamina, leaving us at a standstill. The problem lies in how we handle that exhaustion. Many believers treat their spiritual journey like a solo race, an isolated sprint where everyone runs alone and only the fastest and strongest survive. When you run like that, hitting the wall leaves you with only two options. You either try to pull yourself up by your own bootstraps, or you give up and sit down on the track. Self-reliance lacks the power to cure spiritual burnout. To get moving again, we must find an external source for a supernatural second wind. The author of Hebrews offers a specific solution, commanding believers to strengthen their feeble arms and weak knees. The passage opens with the word therefore, a signal to look back and shift our attention. When your focus locks on the difficulty of the trail directly in front of you, your knees naturally weaken. Staring at the friction is what causes you to buckle. The cure is redirecting your gaze upward. The text points us to Jesus, the pioneer of faith, and asks us to observe how he endured the cross and ignored its shame. This requires intentional action. It means picking up fallen hands in prayer, locking trembling knees in the Word of God, and deciding to take the next step. True spiritual strength is not generated by looking inward to test your own willpower. It is absorbed by fixing your eyes on the ultimate example of endurance. This diagram illustrates the transition from a solo runner to a community trek. As described in Isaiah 35, we are clearing a highway for an entire people to return home. When a believer harbors secret sins or bitterness, they drop loose stones on the path. These obstacles impact the footing of those behind them, causing them to stumble. Conversely, when mature believers walk courageously through a trial, they pack down the dirt. They beat down a clear track for the rest of the community. For a weaker brother or sister, your track record of God's faithfulness provides proof. They realize that if God carried you through that valley, he can carry them too. In a community trek, your personal spiritual footing dictates the survival rate of the believers walking in your footsteps. The ultimate goal of leveling this path is found in the final clause of Hebrews, so that the lame find healing instead of permanent disability. This diagram shows group dynamics under pressure. The enemy targets a temporary limp, caused by personal failure, grief, or doubt, to force a permanent exit. God's design requires the community to surround the struggling believer, neutralizing that outward push and carrying the burden until healed. This sets the rules for the community trek. We do not mock someone's stride, and we never leave a limping neighbor behind. Motion creates momentum. Do not sit down in the middle of the track. Instead, take the next step of faith by reaching out to someone you know who is struggling this week and help smooth their path. When we lift our eyes to Christ and hold up one another's hands, a limping church transforms into a running witness to the healing power of God. Walk in the love, goodness, and power of the Lord every day. Welcome to Harmony Outreach Ministries with Pastor James L. Hyman, Jr.